Hi everyone, come on in, have a seat. My name is Brian. I've been watching vinyl community videos for quite a few years now. And, I've thought from time to time it would be a good idea to create some, but I guess I never really felt I had the time. Maybe I don't have the time. So I thought I would just do a brief introduction and see where this goes. So it's a bit strange to be doing it today because I tested positive for COVID. Omicron, I'm sure, is the variant yesterday. No, sorry, yesterday. That's right, yesterday. So I'm still a bit hoarse and getting over that. But it's been an interesting experience, especially since I've had three doses and still got it. But I think the vaccine helped with more serious concerns. So as I said, I've been watching videos for a long time. And recently I've been watching a lot of videos from Norman Maslov. I find his style very interesting and compelling and humorous, so I've been watching those and some others over the years. And I just wanted to see if I could maybe add to that or add a few videos. We'll see. Just a bit about what you see behind me. That's some of my records behind me. I do have a lot of CDs as well. Like many people in the vinyl community, I sold some records when I became interested in CDs. So that happened, in the very late 80s, early 90s. I regret that. And some of them I did buy some of them back, but it was a bit of a strange experience to sell stuff and then buy it back. Not all of it, of course. So, I let some stuff go that I shouldn't have let go. And I do have, because I bought CDs, I have quite a lot of CDs too. So, primarily focused on vinyl, but I might show some CDs if it's interesting. So I live in a really old house in downtown Toronto. I'm currently in the basement. There is some sort of competing noises. So, for example, right over here is the furnace and the water heater. So sometimes that kicks in and that causes some noise. But my turntable isn't down here. My turntable is upstairs, right above the furnace actually. So when it comes on, sometimes if the volume isn't loud, I hear that. So sometimes it sort of competes with the music, which is kind of irritating. But this is an old house. It has creaky floors, hardwood floors. The dining room my turntable is actually in the dining room, right near the kitchen. So, if the tap is running, I can't really hear the music. So it's strange. On this side of the room over here is a surround sound system with a flat panel TV, of course, that everyone has now. I have CDs on opposite ends, CDs over there, and some CDs upstairs. Sometimes I get the question, or some people say I'm a vinyl collector. I don't view myself as a collector. I am old enough to have purchased records as the way you get music, right? I didn't set out to collect vinyl. That was the way we got music back in the day. So that's how I got my music. I'm from a small town, and the small town for many years didn't have a record store, so I had to find ways to larger centers. And of course, that also meant I didn't really see any concerts until I was much older. So I bought music on vinyl, and then CD, and then vinyl. Like many people, I'm sure, have gone through that situation. So I don't see myself as a collector, although if there's an artist or band I like, I tend to try and get everything. Not always, but I try to. The other question sometimes I get is like, are you an audiophile? I don't see myself as an audiophile, partly because I don't think the environment I'm living in really suits it. As I say, it's an old house. It's got some noises. There's some problems with it in terms of like, creaky floors. It's really difficult to work with that. So in some respects, it would make sense to have my system down here, but I don't, because I spend a lot of time upstairs because I have two kids and we hang out together. And if I come down here, then I'm sort of not in that environment. So, I don't think I sort of have aspirations of being an audiophile, but I'm not about to spend $30,000 on speakers or $20,000 on a turntable. That doesn't seem like something I really want to do. So, maybe at some point, I'll get better equipment, but I don't see myself as an audiophile. In terms of music I like, it's pretty broad ranging. I'm although I might look old, I'm not old enough to have been a first generation fan of many classic rock acts like the Beatles, for example. The Beatles, they were broken up when I was a little tiny kid. So of course, I know the music. I have a lot of it on CD. I have very little on vinyl. It's just one of those things. It didn't really coincide with my coming awareness of music. So bands I was more aware of when I was, coming into that sort of interest in music there are things like The Clash, The Smiths, The Cure, Joy Division, but also some acts that would be sort of outside of that realm. So Bruce Cockburn, Leonard Cohen. I have a pretty large Leonard Cohen collection in books, CDs, vinyl. So there's sort of a mix between the folky things, the sort of, in Canada, I don't know, in other nations, we alternative music had sort of a different meaning back in the 80s. That was music that wasn't mainstream. This sort of alt rock, guitar-based music that we hear about, that really wasn't the term we were using back then, at least where I was from, where I hung out. That was a different thing altogether. That'd be for the Smiths were never played on commercial radio here, but they were played on some, at least one alternative radio station in Toronto. That's CFNY, and I think if you're from the Toronto area back in that era, you'll know CFNY because they were playing things that you couldn't hear pretty much anywhere else. So the Smiths, they were playing it, so I became aware of that band. So I'm gonna keep this short because I'm still recovering from COVID. I guess this is my third day. I tested positive on yesterday. The day before that I had symptoms. It's my third day in. I should have a couple more days before I start feeling better. So that's just a really quick intro. I will be sort of seeing how this goes. I can't commit to how many videos I'm going to upload. I'll just see what time I have and motivation, and I will sort of work from there. So